Welcome to Family and Economics. I'm Brenda Vassar-Taylor, your host today, with Jerry Cox from Family Council. Now, Jerry, today we want to discuss religious freedom and the opportunity to believe and practice your faith the way you want to. Can you tell us what's going on in Arkansas on that topic?
Well, it's kind of like a free market. You know, you ought to be able, in America, to hold whatever convictions you want to, and to be able to act on those as long as you're not hurting anybody. It's really simple. And yet we have a lot of people who want to change that, it seems. They think that religious freedom and rights of conscience, and they're both really inseparable, because your conscience is you're doing what you think is morally right. And so that's what religion really is. It's what you think is morally right. And so to me, religious freedom, religious liberty, rights of conscience, they're all intertwined there. So we have people that are now saying, well, yeah, you can believe whatever you want to, but if you act on that, no, you can't do that. And so they want to squelch the free exercise of religion. Now, we know the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was very clear about that, because I think the founders had a very keen sense of what it was like to live under a king or a ruler who would punish you if you tried to exercise your religious freedom. In fact, that's why a lot of people came to America initially, was so they could enjoy religious freedom. And yet now we're beginning to see a culture that says, religious freedom, yeah, it's a quaint little thing, but if it goes contrary to the popular culture, if it goes contrary to what the majority wants, then no, you can't exercise that.
Give us some examples in Arkansas.
Well,
how that's happening.
I'll give you these are simple little examples, but the legislature voted to put a Ten Commandments monument on the grounds of the state capitol.
I remember.
Now, the Ten Commandments, whether you believe it's a religious document or not, almost all of Western civilization is based on the Judeo-Christian ethic, of which the Ten Commandments is central. So the legislature put the Ten Commandments monument up at the state capitol, and immediately the ACLU and other groups filed a lawsuit. And in fact, a guy who was a little unbalanced, it seems, ran over the monument with his car and knocked it down.
Within hours.
Within hours. And of course, now they've put it back up, but this summer there's going to be a lawsuit that'll go to court, and they're trying to tear down that monument in court. I dare say, if they had put up any other kind of monument that was involved with some other religion, those people probably wouldn't have said a word about it. But because it's rooted and grounded in the Judeo-Christian heritage, they went after it. Well, we should be able to put up a monument to the foundation of our culture. That's just one thing. There are little things out there too, like kids that want to pray at a school at the beginning of every school year. There was one principal that came out and ran the kids off the campus, and they had to go across the road onto private property to have their prayer. And
now, is that illegal in Arkansas?
Well, students do not surrender their right to religious liberty just because they walk through the door of a school building. These are not religious-free zones just because it's a public school.
Well, as you know, I'm an attorney. In my experience, when my children were in high school, someone complained about school prayer. There had just been a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that season. And the principal announced there'll be no more praying at the ball games.
Right.
And so I go to him, ask him about it. And I learned from my research of the Supreme Court rulings, U.S. Supreme Court rulings, is that the problem with exercising our freedom, prayer, in schools is because people are just afraid to do it.
Yes.
They fail to exercise religious freedom.
Well, and I'll give you an example. The Conway School District had a long-standing policy of youth pastors being able to come to the school during lunch and have lunch with the members of their youth group. Well, there was an atheist group that filed a complaint, and instead of rolling over, guess what Conway did? They went and got a lawyer, and they pushed back really hard. And at the end of the day, the youth pastors had the right to go and eat lunch at the school.
Well, that's been my experience in Arkansas so far. And you bring me up to date because obviously it's been a while since my children have been in school. But I have seen it's the failure of the public to exercise their religious freedom that's the problem, as opposed to laws that are infringing or being passed. Of course, the more they fail to exercise, the more likely that we will see laws, because people think, well, I thought it was already the law.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if people want to connect this with like an economic side of the issue, our founders made it very clear that our form of government is designed for a moral and religious people, and it's totally inadequate for any other. So, Brenda, if people want limited government, you have to have a moral and religious society. Otherwise, you have to have strong government and lots of government spending and all kinds of government programs to keep people under control and keep them in check, where the founders recognized that we were to be a self-governing people, meaning we govern our own hearts and our own intentions. And so that's why religious freedom is so important to a successful society, because that's what we are designed to be as a government.
Now, Jerry, if we want to learn more about religious freedom and what's going on in Arkansas, tell me where we go.
Just give us a call at Family Council or email us. Our website is familycouncil.org, and it'll have that on there. 501-375-7000 is our phone number, and we will be glad to visit with people as much as they want to about religious freedom.
Thank you, Jerry. I look forward to next time when you're here to teach us more about family and economics.
Okay.
Thank you.